Everyone, it's Will from Will's Electrical Services, also known as the Midfield General. Congratulations, by the way, you've got the shittest job in the electrical industry, bit of chasing. In this episode, I'm going to show you little bits and bobs and tips of how to chase, and I'll show you some of the equipment that I use. Yeah. First bit I'm going to show you is marking out all the boxes and all the drops. Yeah. So first off, what you need is a long level or a straight edge. What you got to do is mark the box from the top. You know, I'm going to explain this as if this is the ground floor from top to the bottom of a socket, yeah? Yeah, so obviously draw your straight line, and then obviously get your box, and then you want it on that corner, yeah? Left. I always do it to the left-hand corner. I do all my boxes like that. I don't know if you can see from that, but I've got my two levels set up so you can see the straight line. What I usually do is, because obviously for a socket, we usually go in 450 to the bottom, aren't we? So I usually do ping the line. I raise it up. What I do is I do the 450, mark the box at 450, find the centre, then raise the laser up to the centre. So the laser goes through all the lugs. In that way, it's easier to get them level than rather the bottom, because if the box twists at all or anything shit like that, at least you know. It will still be level if they go through the centre of the boxes, yeah. And also, so now we've got it down, we've marked it, we've gone round it. You've got to try and picture this because it's hard to explain. Sometimes if I have two boxes next to each other, so like if I have like a telephone date or anything next to a socket, sometimes what I do, or even if I have two sockets, I put a bush and coupler between the two. And then that gives you a perfect spacing, you know, that's proper ideal as well, yeah. And then what I do is mark it down, yeah, and then I use this. This is my chasing machine, yeah. I've got a few of these. I've got to be honest, I don't spend a lot on them. I get the Herbal ones. I think they're absolutely perfect. And also, just to go back to the boxes, I use this Marksman to mark the boxes. Plugs and screws, obviously always use washers, yeah, and then some every now and then for the capping. And what I usually do is chase up to a bit there, and then I fit the band in like that so it's against the wall. I know if they dot and dab the walls that they, you know, you can clip them down the wall. I'm just old fashioned with that. I just put it in oval conduit. I just think if it helps the builder out dot and dabbing, or does it helps everyone's happy, you know what I mean? And it takes seconds, and it only costs a couple of quid a length of that, yeah. So we do that. So I'll just put this away, and then I'll show you the chaser and that, yeah. With this chaser, I'll quickly show you the underneath. Basically, what you've got is you've got two blades. It's just a grinder. That's all it is. Just two grinders. This particular one is 1500 watts, so it's not very powerful. And what it does, it plugs into my hoover. I'll pick you up in a minute and I'll bring you over and show you. It plugs into my hoover, and my hoover's got an automatic function. So as soon as I press the trigger on the chaser, the hoover automatically starts up. What I tend to do is I leave it for about 10 seconds till you can physically hear. I'm not going to do it now because obviously it'd be pointless, but you can hear the hoover. Yeah, so this is my chaser, yeah, and as you can see, what little tip I always do is I always tape the cable onto the hose, so it just creates less stuff, trailing leads and all that. Yeah, this has a depth gauge. This one doesn't actually have a depth gauge, but usually I take that out there and it just uses a plunge. I think Makita have probably got the patent for that. That's probably why they don't do it, but my older ones have, but I've only used that once. That's my new one, yeah, and that's taped on here. Then I'll go and look at my hoover, yeah, and what that plugs into there. And then obviously I've fitted the Bluetooth, so if I use any other things like if I use any power tools, I can just switch it on, or even if we're hoovering, look, I'll just quickly show you. So even if we're using a hoover, I know it seems a bit ridiculous, but it's so much easier. That Lola, shut up, yeah. And I've got that on auto, and that's how that works. It's blinded, and that is absolutely dustless. That is, you don't get no dust whatsoever from that. It's really good. Right, I'll just put. Yeah, so basically, when you're chasing down the wall, you're pulling this down. It's loud as anything. But see that
See that mark there on the back of the grinder there? I always follow the mark down the wall, and that will give you a perfectly straight edge. And then with the box, because you've marked around the box, obviously just you know where the straight edge, go there. You've obviously always got to go past the box because the depth of the blade is obviously round, isn't it? So yeah, and that's the easiest way, and that'll give you perfect. The only problem is the blade starts about there, so you've always got that bit short of the ceiling. And another fault with it is when you're going down switches or in the corners of walls, you've always got to go, you know, you're that far away, you can't go any closer than that. It's just, unless you turn it round, because this particular chaser is pretty pony, so you can only go down. The Metarbos, you can obviously go forward, and I think, no, the Makita you can't, you have to go backwards with the Makita, but this one's pretty pony, but it's only about 90 quid, so, and it does me, because I absolutely hate chasing. Yeah, right, I'll put you back on the stand for a minute. No.
Yeah, so I'll just show you bits and bobs. I'm not qualified enough to show you the health and safety stuff, but I'll show you what we use. You know, we've obviously got our ear defenders, because with this is so shit. You know, like you've got to get as comfortable as you can. So I always advise wearing a hood, obviously wearing ear defenders, mask. You need proper mask, not the paper mask. Obviously we've got quite a few of these that need cleaning, and obviously you need the proper gloves as well, and then obviously the goggles, you need to be impact. You can't just have safety goggles. Some of these are impact rated, yeah, but they're not, they're just safety glasses. But yeah, whatever you do, you've got to have, but I'd look up the right correct ones you need. Don't take any advice off me for that, yeah. And obviously another thing is, which is really handy, is for the boxes with the laser levels, yeah, is because obviously the laser will always be there. I've got the green and the red one. The green, if you haven't got one, then buy the green one. If you've got a red one, it's alright. The green one's better for daylight, you know what I mean? And it's 100 times better, that's why it's a bit more expensive. Right, I'll just pack this away and I'll quickly show you some of the drill bits and the drills. Yeah, so also, just before you start to grind and all that, or chase, is obviously you've got an extractor that goes out the window. Just obviously be careful where the hose goes to. Hi, these are 3 types of drills that I use. We always use SDS. It's just a system. What SDS means, I put the German name up for it. It was a Bosch invention, Bosch and Hilti invention, which everyone's adopted. I think it's something like, in English it translates as in insert, twist and fix. I think that's what it's called. So basically the bit goes in, clicks in, then it's locked in. It's absolute pucker, yeah. But what we use, this was my old 36 volt Bosch one. This is in retirement now. It's basically had it, but I still keep hold of it and that. But I'm actually going to buy the brand new version of it in the summer. This is basically as near as you can get to a 110 SDS drill. You know, it is so powerful, because even though these battery drills are powerful these days, they're nothing compared to an SDS. Like, I mean, from start to finish, you know. Like this particular one here is a 110, because I used to use this on sites, but I don't work on sites. But I've still got three SDS drills, because what used to happen is when we've done rewires, I used to burn the clutch out on the drilling out all the joists, like with the things, but the actual chasing side of it's like a brand new drill. So I've still got 3, because usually when we do chasing, it's usually my apprentice, and we usually get a couple of other people in to help us just to smash it out, because it's a dreadful job. But yeah, so we use 3 of those, and this is my normal SDS as well. Obviously I just have these like little SDS drills for fixing the boxes, and obviously my little pistol, you know, my little battery drill to screw them back. But yeah, what I'll do is I'll bring you in close and I'll give you
Yeah, so I'll give you a quick better look at this drill. So see where it's just got the normal drill, so it just normal spins. Yeah, and then you've got the hammer. Yeah, see it spins. And then you've got the rotary stop, where it just literally just works like a cannon. Absolute beautiful drill, but the only problem is I've had my money out of it, so it's coming up to retirement. But I do definitely want to replace this. I was going to replace it this summer, but I'll see how it goes with obviously this COVID-19. This little one, this little one ain't too bad, but it's more of the compact version. Like, it doesn't have the bit there which you can able to attach the hoover, so I can't actually fit the attachment hoover for this, but it's a nice drill. The only problem is when you're chasing, you need this, you need the SDS drill, you know, you need the actual mains power one. It doesn't dip in performance or anything, so I just think that's easier. Like, obviously mine's 110, but obviously if you're just working in around people's houses, you can buy the like the 230 version, but I just never did because I always thought I might be using it on a building site again one day, but luck would have it, I haven't. So right, I'll just put these away, and then I'll just bring in the bits and I'll give you a little tour of those. Right, these are all my drill bits, yeah? Usually I buy them in little sets from a tool station, and usually what you get is you usually get one of these, which I never use. That's for scooping out the chases, which don't usually generally work very well. And then you usually get one of these, which is beautiful. Like, if you look, they've all got to be sharpened. I'm gonna grind them down this week and sharpen them. And then you usually get these bits. Like, most of this kit, I think I've got Makita, Bosch, and Milwaukee, because I think at the moment Toolstation have got Irwins in. For some reason, they always seem to have the chasing bits in a deal, but different brands. Yeah, like, I've got a comb chisel. This one, this is an Armeg one. I bought that, but it's not as effective as I thought. I thought it'd be pretty good, but I suppose it'd be good on breeze block, but it's not very good. And then I've got quite a few of these. I don't know, the other ones must be in the van. I think that's a Makita one, and this one is brilliant. That is priceless. I've got a couple of these. My friend Adam Cracknell, he showed me that. Old Crackers is what you've got. What you've got is so you've chased the box out, and now you want to start leveling it off. If you go that way with it or down, you know, that is the best way of getting a perfectly flat box. You know, it's just so good, because that's 70mm, the same width as a box. Is perfect. These bits are good for knocking out the corners, but to be honest, I only really use them bits and them bits. The others are kind of obsolete. These bits are pretty good as well. You know, you can usually get them pretty clear. But yeah, see where I've got the mark there? That's for a 35mm box. That's a good way of seeing how to clear it all out. Yeah, but as I say, they do become a bit dull, but you can sharpen them with a grinder, which I'll probably do this week. But to be honest, usually in most rewires, I'll just buy a new pack. They're usually about 16 quid, 16, 20 quid. But they're ideal. But yeah, I'd highly recommend that. And obviously these other ones are just for show, really. Also, one other thing, just before I go, is when you're cutting the boxes out, just using a angle grinder is pretty good for that. The only problem is with this, it kicks out a lot of dust. So you have obviously got to shadow hoover it as well, yeah? So I'll definitely give that. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this show. I hope you can like, subscribe, and I'll see you later, alligator. Up the old blues. Oi, oi.